Splash of Gas with Dave Weichert, a NASCAR podcast. And just like that, the 2025 racing season has officially started with racing of the first major event of the year, the Rolex 24-hour endurance race at Daytona. We'll have a full recap of that at the end of the episode. With the Rolex in the rear view mirror, we are full speed ahead for the start of the NASCAR's and ARCA seasons, plus still upcoming news on different driver and team pairings for Daytona and the approaching season. Still news in the world of late model racing to uncover. That and so much more on this episode of Splash of Gas. As always, we are sponsored by Magical Travel with Dave, aka Disney Dave Weichert, my father. He will be able to help you with all your Disney and Universal vacation needs. He can be reached at DisneyDaveW@Verizon.net. Please make sure you follow all the Splash of Gas social medias for midweek updates. Instagram and Facebook are now both Splash of Gas with Dave Weichert, and now available on Twitch as Splash of Gas _ Dave Weichert. Please check that out for some live Splash of Gas. Let's start off the episode with trivia time. As we count down the days until Daytona, this week's trivia question is a two-part question. Who has the most wins and second most wins in the Great American Race, the Daytona 500? Answer coming at the end. Now to our first segment of the episode, which is a new segment, the Late Model Layover. It was announced last Saturday that 12-year-old Keelan Harvick, son of NASCAR Cup Series champ Kevin Harvick, would be sharing a car with his father for the upcoming Pro Late Model season on the Cars Tour. The car will be an alliance between Kevin Harvick Incorporated and Rackley War Racing. First, I think this is great for the Cars Tour, as fans get a chance to go to their local track and see a NASCAR Cup Series veteran in the elder Harvick. Second, this is great for the development of the younger Harvick. Have seen an even younger Harvick, Keelan, race a legend car at Florence 2 years ago. He has come a long way since. Who wouldn't want to share a race car with their dad? Looking forward to watching them both. Now for the 2025 Truck Series breakdown. Here are all the full-time drivers. Number 5, Tricon Garage, Tony Breitinger. Number 7, CR7 Motorsports, Grant Enfinger. Number 11, Tricon Garage, Corey Heim. Number 13, Thor Sport Racing, unannounced but expected to be Jake Garcia. Number 15, Tricon Garage, Tanner Gray. Number 17, Tricon Garage, Gio Ruggiero. Number 18, McAnally Hilgerman Racing, Tyler Ankrum. Number 19, McAnally Hilgerman Racing, Daniel Hemrick. Number 26, Rackley War, Dawson Sutton. Number 33, Rayum Brothers Racing, Frankie Muniz. Number 38, Front Row Motorsports, Lane Riggs. Number 42, Niche Motorsports, Matt Mills. Number 44, Niche Motorsports, Christian Rose. Number 45, Niche Motorsports, Caden Honeycutt. Number 52, Halmar Racing, Stuart Friesen. Number 71, Spire Motorsports, Raja Karuth. Number 76, Freedom Racing Enterprises, Spencer Boyd. Number 77, Spire Motorsports, Andres Perez de Lara. Number 81, McAnally Hilgerman Racing, Connor Mozak. Number 88, Thor Sport, unannounced but assuming past series champ Matt Crafton, just like in past years. Number 91, McAnally Hilgerman Racing, Jack Wood. Number 98, Thor Sport Racing, unannounced but assuming last year's champ Ty Majeski. And same for the 99 Thor Sport, unannounced but expecting two-time champ Ben Rhodes. Number to be determined, but Front Row Motorsports will field 2 trucks this year, and the driver will be Chandler Smith. Drivers to look out for the upcoming Truck Series season. Tony Breitinger, she wasn't able to put it in victory lane in the ARCA Series, but came very close. We will see how she can do full-time in the top Tri-Con equipment. Grant Enfinger, driver, was in the Championship 4 last year, racked up 2 wins at the end of the year in the playoffs, will be a contender for the Championship 4 again. Corey Heim had the most wins in 2024 at the Truck Series level and another championship favorite going into this year. Tyler Ankrum made big strides last year compared to the previous seasons. Think he will be a playoff contender, even have a chance to grab a win. Daniel Hemrick leaves college racing at the Cup Series level, dropping down to trucks in a 19 truck that was so dominant the past several seasons with Christian Eckes. See Hemrick being a championship contender. Lane Riggs missed the playoffs, but truly came into his own with 2 wins in the playoffs as a non-playoff driver. If he can keep that up, he will be a playoff 4 contender. Caden Honeycutt, fresh off his Snowball Derby win this past December, look for him to continue the top 5 finishes this year, full-time. Raja Karuth will be back in the Spire Motorsports truck full-time. He had a win in Vegas last year. See if he can get back into victory lane and make a playoff push. Last year's champ, Ty Majeski, will of course be in the championship fold and be looking to defend his title. Ben Rhodes, the 2-time Truck Series champ, will look to rebound off a bad year and end up in victory lane. Chandler Smith, after leaving Joe Gibbs Racing in the Xfinity Series, will jump back into the Truck Series, where he racked up several wins racing for Kyle Busch Motorsports a couple years ago. Expect that trend to continue, with Smith being in a competitive Front Row Motorsports truck. Now for our way too early Truck Series Final 4 predictions. First, Corey Heim in the Tri-Con 11. Second, McAnally Hilgerman Racing, Daniel Hemrick. The 38 of Lane Riggs for Front Row Motorsports. And rounding out the top 4, last year's champ, Ty Majeski. Moving on to the Xfinity Series breakdown, here are the full-time series drivers for 2025. Number 00, Haas Factory Team, Sheldon Creed. Number 1, Junior Motorsports, Carson Capol. Number 2, Richard Childress Racing, Jesse Love. Number 4, Alpha Prime Racing, Parker Retzlaff. Number 5, Our Motorsports, Chris Wright. Number 7, Junior Motorsports, Justin Allgaier. Number 8, Junior Motorsports, Sammy Smith. Number 10, Kaulig Racing, Daniel Dye. Number 11, Kaulig Racing, Josh Williams. Number 14, SS Greenlight Racing, Garrett Smithley. Number 16, Kaulig Racing, Christian Eckes. Number 18, Joe Gibbs Racing, William Sawalich. Number 20, Joe Gibbs Racing, Brandon Jones. Number 21, Richard Childress Racing, Austin Hill. Number 25, AM Racing, Harrison Burton. Number 26, Sam Hunt Racing, Dean Thompson. Number 27, Jordan Anderson Racing, Jeb Burton. Number 31, Jordan Anderson Racing, Blaine Perkins. Number 39, RSS Racing Ford, Ryan Sieg. Number 41, Haas Factory Team, Sam Mayer. Number 42, Young's Motorsports Chevy, Anthony Alfredo. Number 44, Alpha Prime Racing, Brendan Poole. Number 48, Big Machine Racing, Nick Sanchez. Number 41, Jeremy Clements Racing, Jeremy Clements. Number 54, Joe Gibbs Racing, Taylor Gray. Number 71, DGM Racing, Ryan Ellis. Number 88, Junior Motorsports, Connor Zilich. Number 99, Viking Motorsports, Matthew DiBenedetto. The drivers to look out for the upcoming Xfinity season. Sheldon Creed is with Haas Factory Team for a multi-year deal. He is yet to win at the Xfinity Series level, but the past Truck Series champ is looking to change that. Carson Capol will be full-time with Junior Motorsports. He's been with them most of his racing career. He made select starts last year and was very impressive. The Richard Childress Racing cars of Austin Hill and Jesse Love will sure be playoff and championship contenders again. Last year's Xfinity champ Justin Allgaier will be a contender for the championship yet again, wanting to go back-to-back this time. Sammy Smith will be back in the Junior Motorsports number 8. Smith made a splash in the playoffs last year. Can he go farther this season? Josh Williams in the Colleague Racing number 11 will look to rebound off a tough first year at Colleague and find victory lane. William Sawalich in the Joe Gibbs Racing 18 was an ARCA Series champ last year. Expect him to be a playoff contender. Harrison Burton will be back in the Xfinity Series after 2 years of Cup Series racing, with Wood Brothers tallying 1 win last August in Daytona. Be interesting to see how good the equipment that AM Racing brings to the track. Ryan Sieg will be back in his family-owned 39 entry, was so close several times last year. Can victory lane and the playoffs be on the map for Sieg in 2025? Sam Mayer moves the Haas factory team after several wins with Junior Motorsports. Could be a championship contender if he can click with his new team off the bat. Anthony Alfredo, Fast Pasta, moving to Young's Motorsports as they switch from trucks to Xfinity. Taylor Gray impressed me last year in the Truck Series. Moving up to Xfinity and Joe Gibbs Racing equipment should only spell good things. Connor Zilisch, the whiz kid we've all been waiting for, was just announced that he's going to be going Cup Series racing in COTA. Sky is the limit for an 18-year-old Connor. Now for a way too early Xfinity Final Four predictions. Number 7, Junior Motorsports, Justin Allgaier. Another Junior Motorsports car, number 88, Connor Zilisch. Number 2, Richard Childress Racing, Jesse Love. And the 4th spot, I think it's going to be the number 54, Joe Gibbs Racing, Taylor Gray. So much of the season to unfold. Can't wait for the Truck and Xfinity season. Now for Discussions with Dave. We just mentioned Anthony Alfredo, Xfinity plans for 2025. It was announced he's going to be racing full-time with Young's Motorsports this year. The 25-year-old Alfredo will pilot the number 42 Chevy for Young Motorsports in his 4th full-time Xfinity Series campaign. Alfredo said, "I'm very excited to join Young's Motorsports team this season. I certainly respect what Tyler and his team are building. It's clear they are determined to become a series contender in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I look forward to being part of that, and I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I am ready to make the most of it." Alfredo has been sharpening his skills in the Xfinity Series the last several seasons. In my opinion, Alfredo overperformed in the number 5 Our Motorsports equipment last year. Young's Motorsports has been fielding trucks in the Truck Series for over the last 10 years. Last year was their first time fielding an Xfinity car. Alfredo takes the wheel moving forward, and we will see what he can do. Next topic, Red Bull. Back to NASCAR, Connor Zilisch to make Cup Series debut. We were just talking about him last week in the Rookie Roundup. Was announced that Connor Zilisch will be making his Cup Series debut at the Circuit of the Americas in March. We've seen him get wins in ARCA last year, plus racing at the front of COTA road course in the Truck Series, grabbing the pole and finishing 4th. In addition to his first full-time Xfinity season, Connor will be driving the number 87 Chevy for Trackhouse Racing. Red Bull will be his primary sponsor for the Cup Series race at COTA. Red Bull will also sponsor Shane Van Gisbergen in 5 Cup Series races, rejoining the series after sponsoring Red Bull Racing from 2007 to 2011. What does this mean? I remember as a young kid watching the Red Bull sponsored Cup Series car. I thought they were so cool. I remember being upset when I heard that they weren't going to be sponsoring past 2011. Truly think it's great for NASCAR and Red Bull to be partners once again. Red Bull as a whole seems to be a motorsport enthusiast company. Think it's just a great pairing. Happy to see them back on a Cup car. Moving right along, Casey Kane back to NASCAR. 18-time Cup Series winner and one of NASCAR's 75 greatest drivers, Kasey Kahne will be back at the NASCAR scene as Richard Childress Racing announced Friday morning that Kasey will be returning to NASCAR national competition to drive the team's Xfinity entry at Rockingham Speedway on April 19th. The trucks and the ARCA Menard Series East will share the bill with the Xfinity Tour in April as Rockingham hosts its first NASCAR event since 2013. Kahne was a Truck Series winner at Rockingham back in 2012. Kahne stopped racing Cup Series in 2018, citing health concerns amid the demands of the grueling NASCAR schedule. He returned to sprint car competition soon after his stock car retirement and is racing full-time this year on the high-limit racing circuit. Excited to see Kasey back in a stock car. Now he's been doing the dirt car racing the past several years. Looking forward to see what he can do in Richard Childress Racing equipment as well. Our last topic on Discussions with Dave, an update to the Mike Wallace story. As we know, NASCAR polled Mike Wallace as an entry for the Daytona 500 with NBM Motorsports, citing lack of activity for the 65-year-old driver. In replacement for their entry, Chandler Smith will be the driver. Consequently, Garage 66, previously known as NBN Motorsports, selected Chandler Smith to take the wheel of their number 66 Ford Mustang Dark Horse for his first time participating in the prestigious Daytona 500. Smith's journey to this opportunity is backed by a solid racing career in Xfinity and Truck Series, where he achieved 8 wins over 6 seasons. There's arguments on either side for both drivers. Who would give them the best chance to make the race? The real answer is more money, of course, but that's not going to happen. You could say Mike is a master of draft-style racing, but you can also say the young Smith, as he is a recent winner in both the Xfinity and Truck Series levels. Best of luck to Chandler on his boat to make the Daytona 500. Will be truly an uphill battle. And that wraps up this week's edition of Discussions with Dave. Now for NASCAR history time. NASCAR in the Rolex 24. Over the years, many NASCAR drivers have tried their hand at the legendary Rolex 24 at Daytona. As mentioned, the 24-hour-long endurance race combined oval and road course at Daytona International Speedway. 1989, John Andretti won his clash in a Porsche 962 along with Bob Wollinack and Derek Bell. 1995, Mark Martin would go on to win. 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champ Jimmy Johnson raced in the Rolex at Daytona, driving the number 48 Alley Action Express Cadillac DPI, teamed with Mike Rockefeller, Komi Kobayashi, and Jose Maria Lopez. He had a best finish of second in 2005, 2008, and in 2021. A.J. Allmendinger won the 2012 Rolex at Daytona, and from 18 to 19, he competed with the number 86 Michael Shank Racing Team. In 2020, he competed in the number 57 entry Henriker Racing with Meyer Shank Racing. In 2021, he completed the number 60 Meyer Shank Racing with Curb and Janney Acura DPI with teammates Juan Pablo Montoya, finishing 4th. Jeff Gordon, 10 years after his prestigious win in the Rolex 24 driving stint, Gordon returned and scored a victory. The 4-time NASCAR Cup Series champ drove for Wayne Taylor Racing, teaming with Jordan and Ricky Taylor and Max Angeli to win the Rolex 24. In 2007, with the same team, Gordon finished 3rd overall. 2008, Kurt Busch, driving for Penske Taylor Racing, finished 3rd overall with teammates Helio Castroneves and Ryan Briscoe. In 2021, Juan Pablo Montoya competed for the number 60 Meyer Shank Racing with Curb and Janney Acura DPI. He also drove with a 3-man Team Penske squad in the number 6 Acura DPI. Juan Pablo also has 3 overall Rolex wins from 2007, 2008, and 2023 with Chip Ganassi Racing. Now for trivia answer time. This week's trivia question is 2 parts. Who has the most wins and second most wins in the Great American Race, the Daytona 500? Answers. It's only fitting that the king, Richard Petty, holds the record for most all-time wins at the 500 with 7. Cale Yarborough has the second most with 4 500 victories. Now for the Rolex 24-hour race recap. Starting with an afternoon start, the drivers would race through a long night of twists, turns, and the high banks of the Daytona road course. As the sun would rise, the hours would tick down. Eyes would watch the top cars of the Grand Touring Prototype class, but also a fierce battle in the GTD Pro class that would see cars of the 1, 4, and 48 all bumping and banging along the tight corners. In the end, the Rolex of the 24-hour in 2025 was Felipe Nasr, again leading the charge. Felipe, the captain, has another crown to the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Nasr outdueled Porsche Penske Motorsport teammate Matt Campbell to take the checkered flag in the number 7 Porsche 963 for the second consecutive year. The Brazilian Nasr won by 1.335 seconds over Tom Blomqvist. Campbell finished third as the last Grand Touring Prototype driver on the lead lap. Nasr's stiffer challenge came from Campbell as they battled hard and swapped the lead late in the race. Nasr took the lead for the final time on lap 768 with about 22 minutes remaining, and Felipe led the final 14 laps. Roger Penske now has consecutive victories in the Rolex 24 after his iconic Team Penske braved a 55-year winless drought in the Sports Car Endurance Classic. Winners in the other categories: the GTD Pro class that we were just talking about was eventually won by the number 65 Ford Mustang GT3, driven by Dennis Olsen, Frederick Virvich, and Christopher Mize. The LMP2 class was won by the number 8 Tower Motorsports car, driven by Job Van Utert, Sebastian Bourdais, Sebastian Alvarez, and John Ferrano. The GTD class was won by the number 13 AWA Chevrolet Corvette Z06 GT3R, driven by Marvin Kierhofer, Lars Kern, Matthew Bell, and Ore Fidani. Congratulations to all the drivers, plus Roger Penske. So great to see a world-class organization in Penske Motorsports be on top of the podium in such a prestigious event in the Rolex 24. As always, we are sponsored by Magical Travel with Dave, aka Disney Dave Weichert, my father. He will be able to help you with all your Disney and Universal vacation needs. He can be reached at DisneyDaveW@Verizon.net. Please make sure you follow all the Splash of Gas social medias for midweek updates. Instagram, Splash of Gas with Dave Weichert. Same with Facebook, Splash of Gas with Dave Weichert as well. Now available on Twitch as Splash of Gas _ Dave Weichert. Please check that out for some live Splash of Gas. Hope everyone has enjoyed this episode and has a great weekend and watching some of that good football. And that means we're ever closer to the start of the NASCAR racing seasons. Till next time, Splash of Gas out.